The Nord Stream pipeline was one of the most important pieces of infrastructure in the world. It supplied energy to our NATO allies in Western Europe. It helped Western Europe continue. And then it blew up. Who blew it up? Well, the Biden administration had promised to blow it up, and then it exploded. And afterwards, the White House and the media claimed Russia did it. Russia, they blew up their own pipeline. But Victoria Nuland at the State Department, a truly sinister figure, admits she's very pleased the pipeline is gone. Well, none of this makes any sense. Obviously, the Biden administration blew it up. There's really no doubt about that. But Democrats are sticking with the lie that, no, Russia did it. We thought we'd ask Jimmy Dore who he thinks did it. He's the host of the Jimmy Dore Show. He joins us now. Jimmy Dore, thanks so much for coming on. So it seems obvious the Biden people did it, but in doing it, they not only caused this massive environmental catastrophe, but they also shafted their so-called NATO allies. Why does no one seem to care about this?
Well, Americans well, people forget what happened is Americans are the most propagandized people in the world, right?
Yes, that's
and they don't
true.
even know what's happening with the Nord Stream pipeline. They think that propaganda happens to other people. So this is 100% propaganda war. And why doesn't Joe Biden want to investigate this? Why doesn't Congress want to investigate this? If they investigate it, they'll know it'll show that the United States didn't do it and Russia did it. So why don't they want to investigate it? Sweden, Denmark, and Norway already did their own investigation of this. They won't release it. Why won't they release this investigations? Just like they don't want to investigate the cause of the coronavirus outbreak. They don't want to know the answers. They don't want to investigate them because they already know the answers. You know, America is turned into, Chris Hedges has called the America a mafia state. A tiny cabal of people have control of our government and they're using it to do war for economic profit. You know, the difference between our mafia state now back then, the mafia helped defeat the Nazis back then. Now we're actually arming Nazis. You know, and isn't it just like America to ignore the Nazis that are suffering here at home trying to buy eggs while we fund Nazis in other countries? It's unbelievable what's happening. This is really about World War III. And why aren't they investigating it? No, they won't even ask them a question. You know, Cy Hirsch's article came out detailing how they all blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. And the American press won't even ask the people he named in that article a question about it. They won't ask Victoria Nuland. They won't ask Jess Sullivan. They won't ask Anthony Blinken. In fact, those people won't even give a statement about it. You know who will talk about it? Kirby, the press secretary at the White House. Because I'm sure the people who did the investigations have a pipeline right to Kirby, but not to Anthony Blinken, not to Sullivan, not Victoria Nuland. By the way, these are the same people who lied us into the Iraq war, lied to us about Libya, lied to us about Syria, dropped so many bombs in Syria they ran out of bombs. They're doing the same thing. America is the world's terrorist. We have 400 military bases surrounding China. We provoked this by people don't know that the CIA got in bed with the right-wing Nazis in Ukraine to overthrow the democratically elected government of Ukraine in 2014. We had a peace deal. It was called the Minsk Accord. And then they violated. Who violated it? Ukraine kept shelling the Donbass, which are the Russian speakers in the eastern part of the Ukraine. And that's why Putin had to be provoked to invade to protect those people. Nobody will tell you that. Everybody who talks about every other news station, by the way, you're the only one doing this. And I applaud you for letting people come on and tell the truth about what's actually happening in Ukraine. Other stations, when I watch, what they do is they start the history of Ukraine from Putin's invasion. They never tell you that we overthrew their democratically elected government in 2014. They never tell you that they didn't stop shelling the people in the Donbass. They never abided by the Minsk Accord. They don't tell you that the former German prime minister said that the reason why they did the Minsk Accords in the first place was so that Ukraine could build up their military to get ready for this war that they're provoking. So the American people are waking up. There was a big... Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll leave it there.
You sound like a Putin shill, Jimmy Dore. This is the most propagandized country in the world. It makes me sad to agree with you, but I do. Jimmy Dore, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a quick break from